For our initial proof of concept QuickTix database, we'll use all free and open source software to create a local instance of our database on our personal machine. To start, we must download the full stack XAMPP setup from ApacheFriends.org, an Apache distribution containing MariaDB, PHP, and Perl. Since our demo system is a Windows environment, we'll select the XAMPP for Windows option. After downloading and installing, we'll select both the MySQL database as well as the Apache web server to run locally on our machine. This enables MariaDB to act as a database and PHPMyAdmin to act as a web interface for it, using the Apache server. In order to view it, you must open a web browser and navigate to localhost/PHPMyAdmin. If prompted to log in, enter the username root and leave the password field blank. In the future, you should create a password for your root user and create a new user with only the limited number of permissions needed to perform your desired queries in order to prevent unintended system-wide operations. At this stage, the MariaDB installation on your computer should be populated with only the few structural tables needed by the software itself. To begin construction of the QuickTix database, select the New Database tab at the top left corner of the page. The next screen presents you with a list of your existing databases, as well as the option to initialize a new one. Enter the name QuickTix exactly as displayed here in the text box, and then click the Create button. This will bring you to the main administration tab of your newly created and empty QuickTix database. To import the structure of your database as we created it, in the form of data definition language, or DDL, navigate to github.com/BROELS/CS3200-project11. This is the home GitHub repo for all information related to the QuickTix database and should be the first place to come to find answers to any questions regarding the design of the database, such as copies of the ERD and schema. Additionally, this repo contains the Java program which executes our report queries in a standalone program and doesn't require a locally running web server. Since our QuickTix database structure is currently empty, we need to establish the tables, attributes, and constraints that comprise the QuickTix system. To find the DDL, we'll navigate to the SQL folder, click the file titled ddl.sql, then View Raw, selecting all lines on the next page and copying it. Going back to the PHPMyAdmin window of our web browser, we'll select the SQL tab at the top and place our clipboard into the field below. After ensuring that all text was correctly copied and pasted, we'll press the Go button to commit these operations to the database. You'll be presented with a green bar at the top to signify that all commands have been completed successfully. Looking at the structure column on the left, we can see that 15 tables have been created. While it's nice to have these tables, we should populate them with some sample data so that we can run some test queries. Navigating back to the same folder on the GitHub repo, this time we're going to save and import the data file titled dml.sql. This file contains SQL commands to insert randomly generated sample data into the database as we just constructed it. Again, we will select all from the raw text document, copy it, and paste it into the SQL tab on the PHPMyAdmin interface once again. Additionally, since we need to ensure that all of our data is imported prior to enforcing foreign key constraints, we'll check the box to temporarily disable the constraints, then press Go. Again presented with a green bar at the top of the page showing that our commands have run successfully, we should navigate to the user table and ensure that all 50 rows for users have been inserted. If this is correct, we have successfully installed, created, and populated an instance of the QuickTix database on our local computer. Navigating back to the SQL tab, we can run queries directly against the random data, or even insert and delete rows as we need. After you're finished using the QuickTix database, you should exit your browser, return to the XAMPP window, and stop all locally running instances.
Now that we have initialized our database, it's time to get the application up and running. First, we ensure that MySQL is running in the background. Now to get the Java application up and running, we first clone the repository, change directories into it, let's make sure we're all up to date. Now we build it. The build process is all managed by Gradle. Run a simple Gradle build. This will fetch all dependencies of the application. Then to create the actual executable, it's a simple Gradle shadow jar. As you'll see, the jar file is now available in build libs. To run it, it's a simple Java jar and the path to that executable. And here we are. We're ready to use QuickTix.